Who won the 2020 election?
Senator President Biden was certified the winner of the
You can't tell me
2020
who won.
election. Well, Senator President Biden was certified the winner of the 2020
Did he
election.
win the election, or did it just accidentally get certified?
Senator, I've answered that question. He was certified the winner of the election.
The senator raised concerns about presidents firing inspectors general without giving the required 30-day notice. Mascott sidestepped specifics, saying those details could come before her in court. Stick around, because this one gets intense. Before we start, make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.
If Congress has the authority to impose tariffs, and that is a constitutional responsibility and right we have, is that correct?
Yes, Congress has legislative responsibility for
So does the
taxing,
executive
yes.
have the legal authority to impose a tariff because the executive doesn't like what the judicial process is doing in a country like Brazil?
Senator, the question of tariffs is
No,
actively before the
I'm not
courts.
asking just about the tariffs. I'm asking, is there constitutional authority for an executive to decide to use the tool of a tariff because he disrespects and dislikes a judicial policy in another country?
Senator, my understanding of the legal basis for the tariffs is statutes that this body enacted with broad discretionary language, and tariffs within the terms of those statutes would, of course, be lawful.
Last question. Who won the 2020 election?
Senator President Biden was certified the winner of the
Can't tell me
2020
who won.
election. Well, Senator President Biden was certified the winner of the 2020
Did he
election.
win the election, or did it just accidentally get certified?
Senator, I've answered that question. He was certified the winner of the election.
Congress has authorized the creation of inspectors generals, and in fiscal year 24, it saved 71 billion. In fiscal 23, it saved 93 billion. Is it your view that Congress has the authority to establish inspector generals that review the appropriations and expenditures that Congress authorizes?
So, Senator, as with all the questions, I want to, in answering, stick with general principles in case there would ever be a case before me raising questions related to inspectors general. I don't understand there to have been a general constitutional question raised about inspectors general. I mean, I think with respect to the question about their role in the system, as I mentioned in prior discussions on executive power, it would always, of course, be important that the office is structured so that that position is ultimately under the supervision of the executive branch and ultimately the president. I realize that raises constitutional tension with the role of the inspector general to look at records.
There is a tension, okay? The Congress clearly has the right to appropriate funds, correct?
Yes, it's a constitutional power, of course.
The discussion shifted to tariffs. Welch asked if a president could impose tariffs simply because they disliked another country's judicial system. Mascott replied that tariffs must be based on broad statutes passed by Congress, not personal grievances. Then came the most direct moment of the hearing. Welch asked flat out, who won the 2020 election? Mascott's answer? President Biden was certified the winner. Her careful wording underscored how nominees often walk a fine line in these high-stakes hearings.
To appropriate funds.
And in the power to appropriate funds, do you contest the obligation that Congress has to make certain there's oversight in the expenditure of those funds?
Well, Senators, as the Supreme Court's indicated in precedent in the last couple of years, part of Congress's legislative power, yes, includes the ability to get records and to find out what's happening in the agencies that it legislates.
And you have some question as to whether Congress, in pursuance of that obligation to oversee the wise use of taxpayer money according to appropriations Congress made, that Congress can't have an inspector general that is doing that work for us on a daily basis on behalf of the American people?
Oh, I certainly think Congress can create an office that is responsible for accounting and keeping records and can ask for records.
The executive has fired the Inspector Generals, correct?
Well, I don't, as a factual matter, I don't recall how many firings there have been. My question also said it needs to be subject
doesn't matter how
to.
many, the executive has fired without giving Congress a 30-day notice required in the statute.
So, but Senator, my earlier question, and again, now we're starting to get into the kind of specifics of things that could come before me if I were a judge. But
That
in
is
general,
specific. I mean,
even inspector generals, anybody who is responsible for any portion of the executive power has to be responsible to the president, and it's because of the core value in our system
that's-
of elections.
But that's the tension. We have a responsibility in Congress to appropriate funds, correct? We have a responsibility to make certain that the funds that are appropriated and taxed, paid for by the American people are wisely spent. Do you have a dispute with that?
Well, Senator, you do, but with respect, when we're talking about inspector general, which is in your
And
hypothetical,
I'm
is an
going to
exec.
interrupt for a second
Okay.
because we're not getting an answer here. And I'm acknowledging there is a tension, but it goes back to what Senator Klobuchar said. There is a tension because in the constitutional system, it was designed to have a tension so that there wouldn't be the concentration of power in one branch, the executive, the legislature, or the judiciary.
We saw everything here: oversight, constitutional checks and balances, executive authority, and even the 2020 election question. Professor Mascott held her ground, while Senator Welch made sure the tension between Congress and the executive branch was front and center. What do you think? Was Mascott too cautious? Or was she just doing her job as a nominee? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget hit like, click subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss our deep dives into the most important political moments shaping the country today.